I'm adjusting the tool rest. I want to make sure that the position of the tool rest is fairly close to the stock that I'm turning. So once I get that into position, I'll lock this down good and tight. I've got it probably about 3/4 of an inch away from the stock. It's already slightly curved, so I'm limited in how close I can get this thing. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the bowl gouge. Now this is a bowl gouge. This is a handle that I've turned myself. I've turned this handle out of some Burmese padauk, which is a beautiful wood that comes from Burma. It does keep its reddish color. On the inside, there's a lamination of ebony, surrounded by 2 thin strips of Pernambuco. Down here at the base, there's another piece of ebony and another piece of olive wood. And you know, this just kind of makes me feel better about my tool. I like using some nice woods. Plus, the most important thing is I've got a long handle, some extra weight to it. This gives me more leverage, so I'm more in control on this side of the tool rest. The gouge, as I had mentioned, is a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. It's a deep fluted bowl gouge. And up here, let's talk about the grind. Now this is what I call a swept back grind. It's also referred to as a parabolic grind. The bevel is ground at 40 degrees, and I've got this honed so it's nice and sharp. I want this to be very, very sharp. And I've got it swept back on the sides with just a slightly convex surface to that grind. Now in terms of the controls, I've got the control mounted over here, and this is my speed control. Now the thing about this is I don't want to have to reach for this thing if something goes wrong. So what I want is a remote switch. So I have a remote switch over here. This is my start button. If something goes wrong, this red button here is my stop button. This is very important because as this thing starts to spin, you know, like I said, if something goes wrong, I can just reach down and hit that off button. Another very important thing is the safety factor. This is a Trend Air Shield helmet. This thing is going to give my face, you know, good protection here. This is an impact-resistant face shield. It's also got a battery in here, and this will pump fresh air into this. So while I've got this on my head, I'm going to have full face protection as well as an airflow in here, so I won't be breathing out all that dust there. So at this point, I think we're ready to go. Now, one of the things I'd like to mention is that this is going to be a cut where it's a bevel rubbing cut. The stock is protruding, it's not flush from the surface. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be contacting the bevel of the tool and then slowly rotating it to introduce that cutting edge into the stock. Essentially I have to go slow, I have to take light cuts. It's going to take a little bit of time to level this down with the surface. I'm not removing any of the poplar at all at this stage. All I'm working is that Pernambuco on the front. And again, you know, slow, light cuts is the name of the game here. After I've finished up with a gouge, then I'll come back with a scraper, and then I'll finish the entire surface with some sanding. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, my name is David Marks. We have a school here in Santa Rosa, California. And if you would like to take some classes, check out my website. It's djmarks.com. I'm going to go back to doing some turning.